Hi everybody, Joe Tobiason, wedding and nonprofit photographer based in Seattle. And tonight I have a free night, so I'm gonna go out and take some twilight nighttime photos of here in the city. And so with that, I'm gonna use my Mamiya 6 here, and I'm going to use the Panorama format. So it allows me to shoot 35mm film, and so I'm gonna use CineStill 800 on that camera. And then I'm also gonna use my big RZ67, and I'm gonna put Kodak Portra 400 in it, and I'm probably gonna push it one stop as well. So they'll both be shooting at 800. This will just be pushed 800. This is more native 800, though I think it might be a little bit different. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I'm also gonna put the CineBloom lens, which you can see right now, probably looks cool. I'm gonna put that on the RZ67 to hopefully make a bunch more glowiness and stuff. We can compare how the glowiness of the CineBloom on regular film compares to the glowiness that is so well known with this particular film with the CineStill and the halation that comes with it. Well, I'm starting later than I wanted to because I lost my wallet, but I found it. So let's go. Future me, I'm gonna step in because I forgot to turn the mic on that video and a few others, so I'm just gonna do voiceovers. Anyway, so I started off, the first place I went was Dick's Drive-In, which is a very famous burger joint here in Seattle. It has a kind of mid-century modern styling that I think would look really good. Both the horizontal look of the Panorama and then also with the CineBlooms. And of course I got fries, come on. So after that, there was this really cool cleaner sign that I've seen floating along the road there. So I was able to make these couple photos of those, which are ones I was really excited about. But I also stopped because I thought the ceiling lighting was really interesting on this drive-through, and it would really shine through in the way that the halation pops out on those photos with the CineStill. So now I'm back by, actually right by my own house, but this is one of the only actual video stores around, and I wanted to take this photo for a long time, so I'm glad to finally make it happen. After that, I was driving down the road and I saw this garage that I just thought looked really cool with just the one light over the workbench. In the film photo, you can see the tail lights of the cars that are parked at the stoplight right there, whereas then you can see the digital one that's a little bit wider. After that, I went out on this overpass over I-5 that I think has a really interesting, really beautiful view of downtown Seattle. It's a place that I've ridden my bike over and run over a couple times, but I've never stopped to take photos, and it was really fun to be out there in the middle of the nighttime and to make these kind of photos showing the different images and the different angles of the city. I then went to the South Lake Union area of Seattle, which is mostly just Google and Amazon now, and enjoyed these couple photos of kind of the edge of the city. Alright, so this is the Elephant Carwash sign, which has been just an icon of Seattle for I think like 60 or 70 years, but they just announced it's coming down soon due to various reasons, but I'm glad to get a couple photos of it here before it goes.
Like this.
Of course, I went to Pike Market.
It's great to be down here at the market because I went and I did short roll of CineStill down here in March or April, right when COVID was really going, and I just didn't, the focus was off, so I was back here trying to recreate that moment. And then it was really magical. Like, there was this mist and this rain and absolutely no one was out here. And it's just not the same. I don't know. I don't know why I ever try to recreate things because it never turns out quite as good as it did the first time.
This is one of my favorite images of the set just because of the way that the framing worked on this guy playing pool. He was just in there with just him and another person just playing pool, and the framing and the lighting was just so perfect that night that I really enjoyed making these ones. So then I headed out to take photos of the underside of the closed West Seattle Bridge.
So I'm going to finish the night here on Harbor Island, which is the main terminal here for shipping here in Seattle. It's a place I've never been, but just seems interesting place to stop.
So, what are my thoughts? Let's talk about the two different cameras. First thing, shooting Panorama on the Mamiya 6. I absolutely loved that experience. I've never had that much fun shooting at night before. Like just to be able to use that wide expanse. It's a type of format I've used a little bit before and experimented with, but knowing how it would stand out and to see that the colors, the halation just popped as I'd hoped it would, was really, really exciting. I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed that experience, and I can't wait to do more of it. I think my two favorite photos were this one of the city, just because it is kind of classic, and because there's so many individual points of light that it really allowed a lot of those red halation points. I know that those are really a controversial thing, whether people actually like them or not, but honestly, it's a personal preference, and is a thing that when you want it, it's awesome, and if you don't want it, then it's a pain. Then find a way to do it in a different way that doesn't show off that particular halation. But as this is a thing I was trying to create, I thought it looked really good in this one. And then also, as I said, that photo of the guy playing pool, those are kind of my two favorite ones, just because the wide framing of it just worked so perfectly well. And then we'll talk about the CineBloom. As you can see on there and on here, it really creates a very unique look, and it's cool, I guess. I honestly think I'm probably going to end up selling mine. I don't know if I don't think it's for me. I think that it's just a little bit too hazy, and maybe because I have the 20%, maybe if I had the 10% or something like that, was just a little bit less strong, that would be a better use for me. It was really nice to just have it here on the RZ67 and be able to just rock that all night long. One other problem I did find with that, though, and this is something that I've seen that happens with a lot of different filters, is that it creates that upside down effect in a still image like this. You can see it both in this photo, that first photo of the Dick's Drive-In, and then also the photo of the video store. And in both of those images, you can see how there is a reverse of those static neon things. Now, if you're using this CineBloom for video, maybe that doesn't quite show up, or maybe it's not quite as much of a distracting element, but in a static image, I find that to be extremely distracting to see an inverse of that thing sitting there right up there. And then also that night I don't know what happened, but I really was not on my A game with this camera. And maybe it was because I was trying to use two cameras at once, but those two photos that I showed of the really long exposures, those were not intentional at all. Granted, I really like them, especially this first one of the pink elephant car wash sign. I think it turned out right, but I don't know what I did, but somehow I must have bumped the exposure so it was crazy overexposed. Then after those two images, the next two images, the last ones on the roll, I so crazy underexposed that they're just gone. There's nothing there. I don't know what I did wrong. But I guess that's why you keep shooting, is to get better and to not have that happen again. So I know at the beginning I kind of had mentioned the idea of let's compare the halation versus the bloom. And the reality is they're completely incomparable. They're very, very different looks for very different purposes. And they both serve their purpose. They both have a place. And learning how to use those things to push yourself into a space that isn't your normal work then allows that when you do find that moment, when that element can help you tell that story better, it becomes a useful tool for down the road. Thanks for watching and have a great day.